to prove that the glyphosate was carcinogenic, and therefore we allowed continued use of glyphosate. Again, last year, we also re-evaluated, based on some new scanty information, evaluating the same glyphosate as a country, and the outcome of the process was that there was no enough scientific evidence to link the glyphosate to the alleged lymphoma diseases observed in the US and the rest. The same year, last year, remember some countries, when these allegations came into being, they rushed and made regulatory decisions to withdraw these products from their market based on those allegations. Like I said, here we do scientific evaluation, and our decisions are informed by science. Last year, the EU, and you know who the EU are. This is a group of countries who are developed. Did their final evaluation, and they found no link of glyphosate to the allegations. And the glyphosate was allowed for continued use in the EU countries for the next 10 years. Take note, we made our decision in 2019. The EU took their sweet time from 2015 to last year, and that is when they came up with their final decision, which was agreeing with what we made in 2019. Can you see? We made a decision in 2019. The EU was busy evaluating, as we did our quick evaluation, and there was no link with cancer. And let me correct this version. The glyphosate-based products are allowed for use in US. They are also allowed for use in EU. So the information circulating around that Kenya has allowed the use of glyphosate in the country while it is banned in other jurisdictions, including the EU and the rest, is misinformation. You can go to their website, you can do it from here, and you'll find it. The registration extension has been done for the next 10 years.
Okay, you wanted to
yeah, I wanted to have a rejoinder, and one of the things is how you can imagine the world without pest control products. That's one thing that viewers or listeners must understand, that these crop protection products are there for a purpose. And specifically to narrow down to the issue of glyphosate, it's a very good product. There are stewardship measures. There could be issues of misuse. And some of the misuse issues that are available is farmers using these products maybe in the wrong way. And you will see some isolated restrictions. For example, if it's the product is used, and this is not for glyphosate, for general products, farmers have challenges that are not known. For example, farmers want to hit the market faster, maybe the weather in August because of sun maize are not drying very well. And you'll find that they want to use this in a wrong way to burn the leaves and to hasten the harvest. So that one is a profit instigated, it's driven. Or they're trying to solve a solution, they're becoming innovative in a wrong way. Those are the issues that we seek to address in terms of making sure that those particular farmers, and there are not many, there are a few farmers who will want to utilize those products because they see they're more efficacious there. They want to utilize the product in the wrong way. And that way, then maybe the authority may come in and say, for us to arrest this misuse, we restrict, we don't use the product before that day. Or the right, what do you call it? A stewardship measure, which all of us must follow to make sure that farmers don't use the product in a wrong way. However, the uses of all those products and the countries he has mentioned, I don't want to go into it, but very importantly, that viewers must know is that they need to have confidence in the innovations they have. For us to produce food for our own people sustainably. Sustainably, I mean today and future, and also taking care of the environment. We must respect products that have been approved locally, also internationally by international bodies. We must respect these bodies that they are doing the best. The CEO has talked about how the regulatory authorities have been put. They have been put up by the Act of Parliament. They have been given money by the government. And therefore we must respect the decisions they do. As an industry, we spend quite a bit of of resources to produce innovations, to bring them on board. And remember, Kenya is one, but is all global, and they are working in other global countries. And therefore, such kind of misconceptions and misinformations distorts the innovation process. It delays information for farmers reaching. It creates fear among the farmers in terms of use of this product, making farmers more uncompetitive. We produce, and that's why we're importing food all over. But the paradox is, if we are talking about food produced in Kenya, and we are talking about ban these products that are causing this, yet food is moving globally. Okay? And food has been approved based on, let's say, I talked about the maximum residue limits, for example, in states that have been applied by these crop protection products from countries, horticultural products coming from Tanzania. How are we making such kind of a decision as a country, yet we are a net importer of food? So we must have a conversation and say, how do we take regulatory decisions? Our Kenyan regulatory decision must trigger a regional approach to this decision. So that we are saying a regulatory decision must trigger another action. That food coming in must be checked for what? Products that, or residues, products that have been banned in Kenya. If it's just a matter of shouting and banning, I think we are wasting time, because food will continue flowing. So we must say that we will shout that ban these products. PCBB is going to use science. So if science confirms that the product needs to be restricted or banned for that matter, then another action must be taken in a regional approach and movement of food, so that Kenyans are widely protected.
Yes. You want to add to that?
Yeah, maybe to add on what my colleague Elika said is in 2022, 2023, and I think also in 2021, the Pest Control Products Board did a survey to collect samples from the market side and also at farm gate of 3 major crops that are widely used. We took samples of onions, samples of kale, sukuma wiki that is, and also tomatoes. What were the samples for? We were supposed to extract any pesticide residues in these crops to determine whether the residues were within the allowable limits. And you'll be surprised that contrary to some creeps circulating around, you might have seen a tomato, some creeps coming. If you are eating a tomato, you are eating pesticide. Contrary to that information, the residues obtained from the laboratory analytical processes in Kenya for over the 3-year period was within the Codex maximum residue limits. What is this Codex? Codex is a global body that is charged with responsibility of setting global maximum residue limits for various active ingredients used in management of various pests. So over 98.something% was compliance. So this contradicts the information being circulated in Kenya that anybody eating sukuma wiki, whatever, is eating pesticide. It is not true, because we have scientific proven data to support that. So what we would urge our Kenyans is that please, when you use pesticides, please use them as per the label directions. Those directions given on the label, they are based on science. If you use them correctly, you'll obtain residues of whatever pesticide to levels that are safe for our consumption.
So it's not only a matter of protecting the crops, it's also a matter of protecting personal health.
It's an issue of food safety. You remember I talked about our responsibility as being able to assure the country that the product we register are safe to our health, safe to the environmental health, as well as being effective. So as they kill the pest, whatever the residues must be within the limits that our body will be able to manage without causing harm. Yes.
Now, you spoke about the challenges, and one of the things that came out is incorrect use of pesticide. I want us to delve into that when we come back, and we'll be doing that after this short break. Don't go too far. But, are there in terms of crop protection, and one of them is incorrect use of pesticides. What are the other challenges that are there right now?
Generally, just like any other innovations, that is the biggest challenge where farmers are incorrect use of it. Another challenge embedded in the use of products, that the complementary products that needs to be used for also access to these products, particularly for farmer protection. While it's there, farmers are, oblivious of the possible risks. Yeah. And therefore you'll find that in certain areas where farmers have been used to spraying, they think that they are, they're used to spraying products, so they are not putting on their personal protective equipment, at least affording one. We have also access to where do farmers get information, for example, that could be a driver for misuse of the information. You can imagine from different sources you have various data where farmers are. So we have extension system, we have other development partners working together, and also we have where the farmers buy agrovets. Okay. So those agrovets, they have become part of like where farmers go to place for farmers. I have this problem and everything, and quite a lot of things have happened to help farmers. And I think in terms of regulations, in terms of labeling, it has largely improved, because right now the recommendation is on a particular pest, crop, and everything. And in most cases, you will find that there's a pest and a crop for farmer to identify. Now, when farmers go to the field, as I told you, other challenges will be farmers, and that one it may be an issue of the ethics of the farmer. They want to use these products to really access the market. They have this notion that this product will protect the crop for a longer period of time. So quite a number of approaches have been done in terms of addressing where the farmer gets the information, like in the current regulations already, that maybe the CEO will talk about it. Now we have a requirement for the over-the-counter staff to have a certain level of qualification, meaning that therefore then they'll be able to advise the farmer. We have issues also of counterfeit, okay? Because of farmers using products and have this belief, and which will be exacerbated by the issue of just one country approach to withdrawal of products. You'll find that products coming from the neighboring countries will reach there, and products not approved in the country, by not approved, they have not gone through the process the CEO talked about. So the risks to humans, the risks to non-target organisms, including water bodies and the environment, have not been evaluated. So you'll find all these farmers having access to these products. They are sold cheap, they are hawked to the farm level. And therefore you find that that becomes a problem. Another issue that is a challenge that is facing farmers, I talked about, apart from the climate change issues that will drive farmers to misuse this product, to accelerate a certain product to reach the market or timing the market, we have the new pest. If we talk about the past 5 years, because of the climate change, there's a new pest, and we know high temperatures really accelerate development of pests, accelerate new pest invasions. We have seen every other 3 months you find a new pest. At that particular point in time, before we identify the pest with various research institutions like Carro and other KBC and other development partners who are doing in research, you find that it has taken time and farmers have tried quite a bit of things. So all these new pests, because of cycles of pests, some of the products developing what we call resistance, tolerating these products, makes farmers get what we call frustrated, and they will try quite a different things. So there was a whole approach in terms of how do we sustainably use these products, and that's what we do as an organization, making sure that farmers understand how the product works, because these products work in different ways. Okay, by alternating and changing them in an appropriate way, you prolong the life of the product. It's called modes of action, and that's what resistance management is all about. Yes. We have also other issues that farmers, when you violate, you don't use the product appropriately. You are violating what we call good agricultural practice, and that's what the pest control products approves. The rate when you use it. And if you do that, you comply with what he talks about Codex MRLs. The withholding period, pre-harvesting interval, that is now the period between application and harvest that determines the safety of that product. Okay. If the farmer compromises that, then that food may indicate that the farmer didn't do a good job, and therefore it may not be safe for trade. We also want farmers to protect themselves based on the risk assessment process, the output of the risk assessment, particularly whether it is mixing, is during spraying, is because these products have got different properties and exposure level. So we have issues of personal protective equipment. Even immediately after this show, we are constantly innovating to address the issues of the challenges farmers are facing. And that's why we are going to launch a standard for personal protective equipment for Kenyan situation. Because we understood from our various studies that we have, of course, the personal protective equipment, but because of the climatic, he talks about the tropical environment, hot temperatures, farmers feel that it's not comfortable and eventually sometimes are tempted to remove it. So we are innovating to address those particular challenges. Another challenge that we are seeing farmers do, particularly in various ecosystems, we have water, like in Mwea, I talked about it, farmers feeling that they can spray. Yeah. I mean, they can put insecticides into water without looking at the route of injection into water, therefore polluting downstream. Those are the issues that really need to be addressed, and products that have not been approved in aquatic use, they shouldn't. That's a way of misuse, and farmers don't have that knowledge. And we understand from farmers' perspective, some of these things may be out of frustration. Another thing that we are addressing currently is that also when farmers use those particular containers, where do they take them? As an industry, we have been collecting these containers back, a take-back system, and right now we have a law that extended producer responsibility that is bestowed by the government. So we help farmers to clean the environment by bringing back these containers to do that. That's the challenge, making sure that the environment is clean. But overall, yes, the approach is that how do we create mechanisms at the grassroots? And because each and every stakeholder is doing his own work, how do we consolidate this work? That's why as we have come up with various stakeholders, what we are calling the stewardship machinery program, that we need to work at that particular level of the farmer, with the county government, with the Ministry of Agriculture, with the provincial administration, the administration, not provincial administration, and all other coordinating mechanisms, development partners, and regulatory bodies at the grassroots level, so that each one can contribute in terms of enhancing the farmer. Because the challenge is 10 million farmers. Even if we come with innovation like spray service providers, we will need equivalent to 5 million spray service providers. How can we accelerate these spray service providers so that they are in each and every value chain in this country? So it's a challenge making sure that they are equipped, they have the required personal protective equipment to address those issues that farmers require. Okay. So it's a concerted effort, and this is what, as AAK Grow, we are driving to make sure that we are contributing to better farming, better food, and better health.
All right. He has raised something about the issue of counterfeit. As a regulator, how do you deal with that? And also the aspect of enforcing regulatory aspect of it all. How do you deal with that?
Thank you. Possibly, allow me to go back to what I was saying before I go to the counterfeits. On matters residues, we have been having issues to do with the EU MRLs and the Codex MRLs. You see, the MRLs are a trend-related, it's a market-oriented settings. It's not really, it has no indication to the impact the residues would have to humans. So what the EU has done, it is that they have set residue levels which are much lower than the codex. And therefore, if you have to produce anything for the EU market, you must adhere to their set maximum residues, which differ with the globally accepted Codex MRLs. So, and this is where we are getting the analogy that Kenya has allowed the use of products that have been banned in the EU. It is not true that the products have been banned in the EU. It is only that the EU has set residue levels which are much, much lower than the global maximum residual levels if you have to market to them. It has nothing to do with the safety of the product. So we are assuring Kenyans that the products we've registered based on the Codex MILs are safe for consumption. Now I come back to the issue of also the allowing of banned products in the EU. They are finding themselves in Kenya. It is not true. And I'll give you a very good example. When we had desert locust innovation, we used a product called fentrathione, ULV. This product was sourced from the UK. Yeah? It was manufactured in the UK for Kenya to manage a pest known as desert locust. Desert locusts do not thrive in the EU, and therefore the need for fentrathione might not be there. But because we have a need for the same, which is also not registered for use in the EU, but the use is in Kenya, we use their technology to produce for us so that we can be able to manage our pest. So it is not always true that any product that is disallowed for use in the EU has been banned. The one banning has more weight than withdrawal. Yes. So we might need to understand the jargons used in the pesticide industry. Okay. We have one like restriction, we have one like withdrawal for use, and we have the banning. Yes. Now, where is the banning done? Banning is done at global conference of parties, and Kenya is a member of these institutions. There is a body called the Rotterdam Convention, which Kenya is a party, and the Pest Control Products Board is the designated national authority on matters of pesticides. So we represent the country under that setup, and decisions made at that level are implemented globally. So the banning is done centrally through serious engagement on science. It's not about PCPB banning, it's about global banning based on scientific evidence.
As we close the issue on counterfeits.
Now, on counterfeiting, we have been experiencing counterfeits, and we, as an institution, as we speak today, we have DCI officers attached to PCPB to assist in the war against counterfeiting. Counterfeiting is there, and it will be there, and that is why we exist. So as a counterfeit, we investigate, get them, take them to court. Like now I have about 20-something cases running, and 18 of them have been concluded with convictions. He also talked about infiltration of products through the porous borders from our neighboring countries. We are getting a lot of counterfeit products from our neighboring countries. So Tanzania, Uganda, and the rest. So what have we done? We have decided to station officers in all the border points along the two countries I've mentioned to try and see whether we can curb the practice. Yes.
Now, gentlemen, your closing remarks. 1 minute. Let me start with you.
Thank you very much. My closing remarks will be to Kenyans that innovations provided, as long as the product is registered by Pest Control Products, let them have confidence in the products, have confidence in the food you eat, particularly products have been approved. Yes, we agree we have a lot of things to do to address with our farmer growers, which we are trying to do in terms of training, reaching them and change their behavior. But overall, Kenya is in a better position in Africa, globally, position in terms of food production. Let's not lose agriculture, let's not lose production. If we lose production for food, or food security systems, or food safety systems, then we are going to lose it. We are going to be a net importer of food. That is not sustainable. We will not afford food. We will collapse as a country. So let's focus in terms of everybody. Let's be changed. Let every person try to talk to each and every farmer to use these innovations very well. And indeed, we'll be net exporters of food. Recently, even the PS talked about we are now producing sugar in excess. That's a commitment. If we can produce excess in each and every crop and have enough for ourselves and export, then we are going to grow our economy. So let's work together, let's follow science, and let's be a change agent. Thank you very much for listening.
Yes. Mr. Mushiri.
Yeah, thank you. My parting shot is to Kenyans. Let's have faith in the institutions we've created. And where there is criticism, let's be criticized fairly.
Yes.
And two, let's all Kenyans take note that Kenya is regarded highly in the regions when it comes to matters, pesticides, regulations, and we have been trainers of countries both in Africa and outside Africa. They have been visiting us to learn on what we do. Thank you.
All right, that is Frederick Mushiri, who is the CEO of Pest Control Products Board, and also Mr. Eric Kimunguyi, who is the CEO of AAK Grow and Crop Life Kenya. This is where we cap this conversation and entirely the Good Morning Kenya program today. My name is Mike Migu. Thank you for watching and do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Good morning.